Today is Monday, February the 27th,
Okay. That's how my family's
2012.
I mean, that's the law. I don't write the law, but I live by the law. And like I said, contrary to some of the information that some of you may have heard, we cannot just say, oh, we'll give a COLA. I'm retired. Why would I not want to give me a COLA? If I didn't care nothing about anybody else, why would I be so adamant about keeping me from getting a COLA? And there's no way for me to get a COLA without every other retiree getting a COLA. And again, I hope all of you come up because I'm going to try to address this up there on record in front of whoever has chosen to come to get, hopefully add some clarity as to what we can and what we cannot do. The Senate bill that I'm sure most of you have heard that says the school board the trustee board can authorize a COLA. What nobody wants to finish that whole line is that is based on it doesn't cost employees and it doesn't cost the school board. But when this bill came out and everybody was saying, well, y'all can do it, everybody ignores, we cannot do it without it costing the school board or the SAB board or the school district. We cannot do it unless we get above 100%, and we are nowhere close to that. Even as high as it is, as the dial is up, we are still not close to 100%. We have to be over 100%, be able to authorize a COLA with a surplus over 100%, so that once the COLA is put in place, the school board is not held responsible for covering it.
What's your surplus now?
We don't have a surplus now. Right now we're funded about 80, I want to say like 86, 87% off the top of my head, which is better than most funds.
Yeah.
Which is better than most funds. If for anybody that actually
this is
looks
far better than the other state employees fund, right?
Our funding ratio, we are better than most, but state statute allows other funds to do things that it doesn't allow us to do. Again, not my rules, but the state law, that the state legislature. And when we've had people say, well, why don't you change the law? Because the school board, particularly with this SAB in place, I believe they're not going to want to change the law that's going to have them pay for something. Because there's no way to get it without them having to pay. And like I say, I invite all of you all to come up to the meeting, not just stand out here in the cold. And hopefully there will be some things said in the meeting that will add some clarity to this.
My name is Irma Nevels, and I retired in 2005. I've been coming to the pension board trustee meetings for approximately since 2003, and the answers have always been that they do not have enough money to give us a COLA. But they only have to be 75% funded to give us a COLA.
So that's the cost of living increase?
Cost of living, yes, the cost of living increase. They only have to be 70% funded. It's the same as it is in the county areas and all over the state of Missouri. But for some reason, this trustee board seems to always say they have to be 100% funded. Once before there was 103, but still did not grant a cost of living increase. And so it's up to the trustees to find ways to give us our benefits. It's not up to us because they are our fiduciaries. And so it's their job to find out ways to give us a cost of living increase.
Okay, thank you.
I'm Janet Cuenca. I'm retired from Parkway School District. I just got a letter from the Parkway School District saying that the state of Missouri has some lovely plans in mind for our retirement funds as well. They greatly changed the makeup of the thing, taking away the elected board of directors, for example, and turning it over to some sort of commercial group that maybe the legislature will control. I don't know. We're going to see. But there are 5 or 6 lovely things. New teachers would not pay into the fund. They would get private 401k plans that they would.
Tell them why we need a COLA.
We need more money. The pension board pays $80 a month towards our health insurance. I pay $1,700 a year for my health insurance just for me. Okay. They pay, and plus the $80 that they pay, that's how much it costs. So we would like to have our health insurance stipend increase. or a COLA, or just an increase, or just a one-time bonus. Okay.
Yes, sir.
I'm Harvey Floyd, and I'm a retired teacher after 40 years in the St. Louis public school system. And it's been 6 years since we've had an increase in our cost of living fund, and it's been, as far as I'm concerned, it's been since '04. My salary increase, basic increase of salary, has not increased. Okay.
According to information in the Post-Dispatch, they have received $96 million from final settlement to the pension fund. Okay, so right now they have $54 million, according to what Kevin Adams told the state, surplus. Now, it's dedicated to certain funds, but you know, you can always shift funds around.
I'd like to know when all of the retirees will get answers to the questions that Al Kassenberger asked, and he handed it in. He's a retiree. Yes, and at our last meeting, 2 meetings ago, he asked questions, and he asked that all of the retirees be notified in writing. We have not received any answers yet to those questions.
Hopefully tonight we can get some things accomplished.
Yes, hopefully.
We need a COLA, we need it right now.
Joe said that Rick Sullivan had reappointed himself, and he's not here tonight. He's the head of the appointed board by the
Mr. Al Katzenberger.
All those people are not going to speak. I want to address the board about the failure to reply to my letter completely. I got a reply, but it wasn't complete. One of the things I mentioned was that, and it's happening with the fire department and the police department, there's what they call blue shirts and white shirts. What's happening is that they're pointing out that the white shirts are gouging and spiking the system. If they're doing that, the same thing is happening here, because there's 140 some retirement systems in the state of Missouri. I want to know if that's happening in this district. Why should somebody be able to get just to, go down there, be buddy-buddy with the administrator, get that 3 years at the last? They haven't been paying in all that time. They only been paying in like that last 3 years. And then they get the top pensions. It's unfair. The other thing is I asked for a breakdown, just public information. How many people only receive $100? How many only receive $200? How many only receive $300? All the way down, showing breakdown in numbers of hundreds. It's understood that some people in this district don't even get $100 a month from the retirement board. The other thing I like to do, I just received this newsletter, and I took it with me. I had it in my pocket. I was going to read it. And it was at my grandson's recreation center, and there were adults there too. And I read these definitions off to them, and I did a true and false thing. I said true and false. Like the first one here, a member, active member, true or false. A person who is an employee of the system. I said, is it true or false? Most of them, raised their hand. Now, some of the children didn't understand it, but most of them raised their hand and said true. Okay? When I got down to teacher, any teacher, substitute teacher, supervisor, principal, supervising principal, superintendent, assistant superintendent, who shall teach or be employed for a full-time basis in public schools of the district or charter schools. I said, true or false? Every one of them said it was false. Right. There were parents there that said, I told them it was true. I said, this is what they teach in the St. Louis public schools. There were parents there, and you know what their response was to me? That's why the St. Louis public schools are failing. Because if they teach that kind of nonsense and practice that kind of nonsense, That's why they're failing. And you need to get this changed when it comes to the retired teacher position on this board. Because this is what it's used for, okay? It's nonsense, and you ought to know it.
The next person signed up is...
I'm no expert on the retirement plan, but I am in the retired teachers. I was a social worker for the school district, and I'm a retiree. And I think my story is probably less serious than many other people. But I am on 6 medications, and some of those medications, there's no generic for them, and I have to be on them to stay out of pain. There's one, our medical plan, the medical plan that I was on was the top one. That jumped something like $60, didn't it? 60? And I think $70, it jumped $70. And I think in the 4 years that I've been retired, it's done that several times, hasn't it?
Yes, every year.
Every year this is happening. Now, if there's no increase in our income, how in the world can we deal with this? You see by our illustration here about the increases in utility payments. Now, this retirement board has always impressed me. In fact, you're one of the reasons why I came to work for the school district, because we have such a well-run plan. We'd like this well-run plan to share the wealth with us. I mean, you do a very good job, and I think you ought to be impressed with yourself, and therefore give us a cost of living increase, when obviously, I mean, Social Security just gave us a cost of living increase. Didn't that send you guys a message? How many of you are retired teachers? One person. You have one retired person on this board. Maybe you're a little out of touch. Maybe you need to talk to these people who are in this room and find out what's really going on instead of going through this formal procedure. Why don't you find out what's really happening to your retirees?
Thank you.
You know, so we don't have to get up here and act like we're telling you something that you should already know already. We're getting squeezed big time. And yet, you're doing nothing about it. And we were down there, and a gentleman on this board told me, well, we can't do that. Then, because the SAB, board has got to do this, if it can be done. And then I find out from one of our union officers, yes, you can do it.
Yes.
So, in other words, you're either misinformed or you're deliberately misleading people like me. According to our union officers, and I'd like everybody to get that law out and look at it and find out what is the score here. But we need help. It is very, very serious. And this is a very well-run board. I don't think what we're asking for is going to do you in. Thank you.